Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of the most captivating voices in contemporary American fiction. Though her name may have gained wide recognition in recent years, especially with the screen adaptation of Daisy Jones and the Six, her literary journey is one of consistent brilliance, emotional depth, and stylistic evolution. Born in Massachusetts in 1983, she began her writing career with romantic fiction, but quickly grew into a genre-defying storyteller who knits together themes of fame, identity, womanhood, and the bittersweet ache of memory. Her novels often follow the glamorous, the famous, and the misunderstood. But beneath the glitz and spotlight lies something rare, a deep, piercing humanity. Her characters are often women who have lived many lives in one lifetime. Women with scars, with ambition, with secrets. Reid doesn't write fairy tales. She writes about women who burn bridges and walk alone through the smoke, quietly, steadily, and with dignity. She is known for making fiction feel like history. The stories she tells are so immersive, so richly detailed, and so emotionally convincing that readers often find themselves searching for the characters online, convinced they must have been real. That's the magic of her prose. She invites us to believe not just in her world, but in the truth that lingers underneath it. Her breakthrough came in 2017 with The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It tells the story of a reclusive Hollywood icon who, in her old age, agrees to give one final tell-all interview. The journalist selected for the job finds herself drawn into a tangled history of ambition, betrayal, and forbidden love. With its dazzling old Hollywood setting, its secrets and shadows, Evelyn Hugo felt like a memoir disguised as fiction. But the heart of the book was deeper. It was a story about love that dared not speak its name, and about the price women pay to own their stories. Evelyn was flawed, fierce, and unforgettable. And through her, Reid delivered one of the most compelling fictional portraits of a woman torn between her public image and private longing. Then came Daisy Jones and the Six, a novel told entirely through interviews, a format as daring as its content. It was the story of a 1970s rock band and the explosive chemistry between its two lead singers, Daisy and Billy. The book reads like a behind-the-scenes documentary, capturing the rise and fall of a band whose music was only half the story. Reid captures the chaos of fame, the hunger of addiction, and the fragile tightrope between creation and destruction. With every voice in the chorus, managers, bandmates, lovers, she creates a world that is messy, magnificent, and heartbreakingly real. Readers were hooked, and so was Hollywood. The book was adapted into a Prime Video series in 2023, cementing Reid's place in pop culture. In Malibu Rising, Reid shifts the spotlight to the 1980s. Over the course of a single night, we follow the Riva siblings, children of a legendary singer, through a party that spirals into chaos and revelation. This is a book about inheritance, what we take, what we run from, and what we carry without even realizing it. The waves crash, the music plays, and through it all, Reid writes with aching precision about abandonment, resilience, and family loyalty. The surf, the secrets, the summer heat, everything in this novel is alive. Then came Carrie Soto is Back, a novel about a tennis legend who comes out of retirement to defend her legacy. Carrie Soto is not a people-pleaser. She's unapologetically driven, fiercely competitive, and deeply isolated. Through her story, Reid explores what it means for a woman to want greatness and not feel sorry for it. The novel delves into the cost of ambition, the toll of aging, and the quiet transformation that comes when we allow ourselves to be seen, not just as champions, but as people. In 2025, Reid returned with Atmosphere, a novel that takes readers to the NASA space program of the 1980s. The story follows Joan Goodwin, a fictional female astronaut navigating both the literal vacuum of space and the metaphorical one of a male-dominated field. Atmosphere has been praised for its emotional intelligence, historical richness, and feminist insight. With this novel, Reid once again proves her mastery of writing women who step into spaces they were never meant to occupy, who claim not just a seat at the table, but the stars themselves. Across all her novels, Reid returns to certain obsessions. She writes about identity, especially the public versus the private self. Her characters are constantly reinventing themselves, often out of necessity, sometimes out of desire. She writes about fame, not just the glitter, but the loneliness. She explores the cost of being remembered, the burden of legacy, and the uncomfortable truth that not all legends are built on honesty. She is also deeply interested in how women move through the world, how they are shaped, scrutinized, silenced, and sometimes how they refuse to be. Her female protagonists are not perfect, and they don't need to be. They are ambitious, complicated, and often make decisions that provoke rather than please. They are women who survive, not always gracefully, but fully. Love, in Reid's novels, is never neat. It is beautiful, bruising, and often impossible. Her romances are full of longing and missed chances, but they are also honest. She doesn't write happily ever afters. She writes love stories that are messy, real, and unfinished in the way all love stories are. Stylistically, Reid blends accessibility with emotional complexity. Her writing is smooth, cinematic, and full of tension. She isn't afraid to play. With structure, interviews, magazine clippings, dual timelines, each book feels like an experience, not just a story. She writes books you want to inhabit. Stories that feel lived in, as if the pages are worn not from time, but from truth. What makes Taylor Jenkins Reid so significant in today's literary landscape is her ability to give voice to the silenced, to pull back the curtain on power, fame, and femininity. She elevates the stories we think we know, the starlet's biography, the band's origin story, the athlete's comeback, and turns them into meditations on love, identity, and purpose. She speaks to readers who crave more than just entertainment. Her books are filled with spectacle, yes, but underneath the glamour is a steady, tender heartbeat. She reminds us that every icon is also a person, every myth a mirror, and every story a chance to see ourselves a little more clearly. Taylor Jenkins. Reid is not just writing best-selling novels. She is reshaping the way fiction can intersect with history, memory, and the collective longing of readers who want to believe that fiction can be true, not in fact, but in feeling. She is the voice behind the fame, the heart behind the history, and the author who continues to prove that some stories don't need to be real to feel unforgettable.